So, why did I create a one-page diagnostic review report for bookkeeping reviews? Well, I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about what is a review. And then I'll talk about why I created that one page. And then I'll talk about what's in the one page. Like, what did I add? What changes did I make to make it just one page? So, first of all, what is a bookkeeping diagnostic review? I'll call it like a diagnostic or a review or books review or bookkeeping review. They're all the same thing. But basically, a review is for if you're the business owner, then for you, what matters is that you're getting your books checked, your bookkeeping records to see what's wrong, what needs to be fixed before you file your taxes. So you get all your deductions. And also, it's a review of do your report tell you anything about how your business is doing? And if they don't, like, why not? Like, what needs to be fixed? For me as the bookkeeper, um, why we do reviews is it helps me know what's wrong with the book, what needs to be fixed, like how much work it's going to be, um, how much work to get those books caught up, and then what to expect for ongoing monthly maintenance. It also helps to decide how much to charge for the bookkeeping cleanup and catch up and then gives me a rough idea of like how much for monthly work. So that's what a review is and why it's important to get one. And I'll move on to why I wanted to create a one-page version and the inspiration for that. So a little background, I do bookkeeping, like monthly maintenance, but I also did bookkeeping cleanup work, and I became a bookkeeping cleanup specialist. So about 2 years ago, that's when I really focused and went in on that. I just did a lot of cleanups. I took early on, I took a bookkeeping cleanup and diagnostic review course. So it taught me how to do cleanups more efficiently and what to review in the books before the cleanup. And then I also took another cleanup course. I did like different cleanup courses, um, ways to do a review, and I had all these resources, all this information, plus talking with other bookkeepers and how they do their cleanup. So I had all the information about how to do it, and uh, basically I wasn't satisfied with how it was done, kind of, because it was a lot of information. You get a lot of good information about the books, but for the business owner, it's like Greek to them. It's accounting speak, tax speak. It doesn't. I mean, you can just tell them like, "Hey, your books are broken and need to be fixed," right? And they'll check you. They'll listen to you because you're the professional. You know, you use all these words to explain it that they aren't very clear for them. Um, I only say that because I know when I was giving like the result to them, and I tried to be as clear as possible, but it was still a lot of words, even written down, like, because I would give them the report after. It was still a lot, and I just wanted a way to make this easier for them to see the results and hopefully understand it better. Just I wanted to make it clear. And if you're into human design, Gene Keys, then um, I have the channel 58 to 18. And everywhere I see this called the channel of judgment. Because really what it is it's like I have this continuous drive to just improve things around me. Uh, like if I see something that's messy, people think it's a lost cause or you can't fix it or change it, then my brain wants to start fixing it. I want to improve it. Like that's just something I've always been that way. And so I'm like that with bookkeeping cleanups, first of all, because most everyone I talk to says they're always like messy and they take forever and you just never know when you're done. And so obviously that was like a challenge to me. Like, okay, well, let's see if we can change that. And so I became the booking specialist. And so I guess now my next challenge was the review, like how to make the review clear and easier to do and also easier to give the results to the business owner. So that's what review is, why I wanted to make a new version. And now let's get to the like the changes I made. Like what does my one-page review look like? And how did it become one page? Because it originally was multiple pages. So to the inspiration for that was getting my car done, car maintenance. So last year, 2024, had a lot of car work done on my car. And then even after getting all that work done, one day, I came out from a co-working space tour. We tried to turn the car on with my husband, and the car wouldn't start. So we had to call a tow. Turned out it wasn't the battery, something more serious. So we had to take the car to a nearby shop and leave it there for a few days while they figured out what was wrong. Um, so a lot of stuff came out of that whole car issue. But for bookkeeping, it gave me the idea to do a one-page diagnostic review because I got a lot of diagnostic reviews that summer about my car, like what was wrong with it, what needs to be fixed, why, and how much it would cost. And so I guess just one time I looked at a report and something in my brain clicked, and I thought, like, why can't I make this for my bookkeeping diagnostic reviews? It's the same purpose. Like, you're telling someone what's wrong, and like it needs to be fixed, and it's going to cost this much. So I took inspiration from the report, and the particular one I really liked had colors. So it had red for needs attention, serious issue, yellow for like it's becoming an issue. You could put it off if you want, but you should fix it. And then green for it, not an issue, no problem. And then on my report, I added gray for like not checked, not applicable, because there are some things that maybe don't apply to some books. For example, if someone is an S Corp or a C Corp, then you want to make sure their books and the balance sheet on their book and the balance sheet in their tax return match up. And so like that would be something I would check. But if they're not an S Corp, they're not a C Corp, then that doesn't apply to them. So that would be something I would just click, like not applicable, not checked. Okay. So what's on my review? So that was information. So what's on it? So as mentioned, the colors. So I have like columns with colors. And then I could have the original diagnostic review checklist that I got from the course, and it was from Veronica Weiss's course. And the other cleanup course I took was from Fast and Easy QBO. They've now rebranded and they're Acadian, I believe. So I took the inspiration, the checklist from those courses, and then the adjustments I made based on the cleanups I'd done and the reviews I'd done, and then just ideas from talking with other accounting people, like for their cleanups and reviews. So I took all those checklist items I had compiled and put them all in one list, and from that created 3 categories of areas of the books to check. So the first category is a transaction. This is the basis of your books, the foundation, all the money in and out, because if those are wrong, then your books can't be trusted. And then number 2 are the financial statements. Just like how you read what's happening in your business. Because again, if those aren't accurate, you can't trust what they're telling you. And then the last category is I called other items. It's like miscellaneous. But this one kind of includes like software setup specific items, like is your payroll syncing to your books and is that set up correctly? But I'm always thinking of ways to make it clear, so that might change. So those would be the 3 categories of what I check. And a recent add is the why we're checking those sections. So like what needs to be fixed and then why it's important to fix it. So I've added those columns as well. And then recently added is a recommended services section. And so the whole goal with the one-page report is that you can see at a glance how much is messed up in your book, what needs to be fixed, and how much it's going to be, and why. Because for me, it's important for you to know why something is a problem. And so that's why I want to include that on the reports as well. And that way you can read it yourself. Like I could explain it while I'm talking to a business owner, but then they'll have the report later refer back to you. Because that's something I appreciate too. Like I appreciate having it in writing so I can refer back to it. So that's it. That's the story behind why I wanted to update the book's review report, all the changes I made, and why it matters to me. And so if you are a business owner and you have a business and with bookkeeping records that are messy, you haven't been keeping up with them, you're not sure if you're doing it right, and you want to know like what's wrong or what needs to be fixed in your books, then I am offering free diagnostic reviews. And so that what that would look like is you would schedule your call, then we get on the call. I would be on camera. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. I just like to show up on camera so you can kind of see like who is this person who's going to look at my finances. Um, and then on the call, you'll share your book with me so you can either screen share or give me account access. And I would recommend that because if you screen share, I'm gonna have to tell you like where to click and it will be a lot of clicking. So I would recommend you just give me account access and then I'll screen share on the call and go through your books and then complete the review. And then I'll talk through on the call, but then after the review, I'll send you the report to you so you can have that. All right. And so if that sounds something that would be helpful for you, then you can just use the link in the description and get that process started. Um, Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'm going to slightly change the direction of it. Before it, I was trying to focus more on like what I learned from Bing, but now I'm going to share more of the process of me either learning or thinking through um, or things I've discovered. And so I'm going to share more about those items. And so this was the first time I tried to focus more on the process of how I came up with something. So hopefully that's helpful. I hope you enjoy listening to it. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. Remember to delete this before posting. Testing.